If it's easy because you have simplified the hard. It's not because you're taking some kind of shortcut here. In fact, when we field tested a couple of the programs, teachers complained that it was too easy for the kids. And we'd ask them, well, did they learn everything the program attempted to teach? Oh, yeah. Well, then why was it too easy? They didn't struggle. And but if they learn more than they've ever learned, that should be sufficient. I mean, if they're learning it, that's really the only thing that counts.
Let's use an example to highlight just how much of a difference the proper instruction can make for a child learning a new skill for the first time. I recently traveled to California and spent some time with my sister and 8-year-old nephew. My sister, her husband, and our father had all spent time trying to teach my nephew how to ride a bike without training wheels. I listened to their explanations about why he still couldn't ride a bike. His gross motor skills were delayed, he's not very coordinated, etc., etc., etc. They had spent hours and hours over the course of several years trying to teach him. Needless to say, he found learning to ride a bike very challenging. Did it have to be that way? Of course not. After listening to their excuses, I told them, Blake and I are going to the park, and when we come back, he will be riding his bike. It happened to be 107 degrees outside, and I was very motivated to ensure this process didn't take long. 30 minutes later, we returned, and I summoned my sister outside to watch her son confidently ride up and down the street on his bike. My sister, an elementary school principal, was shocked. I told her simply, if the learner doesn't learn, the instruction is to blame. By the look on her face, I could tell she didn't really understand the depth of this maxim. Even as a seasoned teacher and lifelong educator, the idea that the reason he had struggled to learn how to ride a bike had more to do with how he was being taught than any gross motor skill delay or other factor was hard for her to fully digest. The same is true in academic subject areas. The proper instruction makes learning easy. The opposite is also true. The best way to make sure a child is challenged in school, give them poor instruction.
But if they learn more than they've ever learned, that should be sufficient. I mean, if they're learning it, that's really the only thing that counts.